In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to work with scale. So, a common issue that I see is that things get modelled. So I'm going to quickly model something, but it gets modelled by just how it looks on the camera, rather than how it looks when it's playing in game. So if I'm going to make a house, I'm going to make a house just by how it looks here. I'm just going to guess and just make something like this and just put it in. So the actual neatness isn't what we're considering here. So if I put this in and then just scale that down, duplicate that, then scale it down. So I'm going to make a doorway here. So sure, looks fine to me. So we've got a doorway here. So if I play now, I can see that the scale is a little bit off. So I should be doing like nearly half of the scale that I've got here. But when I were doing it from here, it looked okay because I was just doing it from guessing what the perspective might be. It's a similar thing in Maya or 3D modeling software, where if you start modeling something, just from wherever the camera looks, you can start doing something that looks fine, but might not be the right scale. So what we do, so in Unreal, what we can do, very quick thing, is to go to the character blueprint and just drag it in. And then we've got our character as a reference to what the scale is. So I know from here, if I put that there, then it's not looking right. So I can start to scale this down to look sensible for the character that I have. So then if I play that again, I can see that this is looking like an okay scale now. So what the scale usually is normal human height. So Unreal works with centimeters. So the average human height is around 1.8 meters or something around there. So that translated would be 180 meters. I usually round that up to 200. So 180 centimeters, sorry. So I usually round that up to 200 centimeters and I work from that scale. So if you don't have a character set up currently, I usually put in either a cylinder or a box. It's usually a cylinder, and I usually do something like that. So I work from this scale here. So we can see that it's a little bit taller than the character, but it's near enough the same that I can use this as a reference for the scale. So I put a little cylinder in there, and it's similar to in Maya. So if I put in a cylinder here, and I just move that across. If I do the scale, so if I put the height as 200 and then the radius as 50, I can see that this is the scale I should be working with, but by default Maya puts it into a really small format. The grid is quite small, so I usually don't really work with the grid, and I can see that I'd need to scale it by quite a large amount for it to match the scale I need to do with Unreal. So the main thing to do when you're working with like design or modeling, if you're wanting to have it where you don't need to scale it within Engine, you can just import it and it's the right scale, it's looking nice, is to work with scale. So put something in that's around 200 units high, tall, and then just put the thickness as whatever seems reasonable. And then you should be okay with the scale that you're working at. So it should be similar to here, so this should then import correctly into Unreal as the scale that it needs to be.